Hi folks, Lou here, and I'm going to talk briefly about playing in the mind's eye, a form of playtesting, and hope that my equipment doesn't fail, as it seems to be doing frequently now. Well, this notion of playing in the mind's eye has been around a long time, but Reiner Knizia is the one who I saw uh, discuss it or talk about it. And that is when you're starting on a game, or perhaps later on, rather than having to play test the game physically with other people, you can play test it in your mind in certain aspects, perhaps just small parts of the game, and that will enable you to improve the game without having to bring other people in to play test and spending a lot of time. Now, you still have to play test, but the more you can do by playing in your mind's eye, thinking about it in your head, then the better off you'll be. So often this will be a particular scene or part of the game, not the whole game. And the more experienced you get, the better you're going to be able to do it, relying on actual playtest experience so that you have some idea of how people work and so on. I'll take as an example a game I'm developing that represents the great races that took place before World War I, in this case, automobile races. And the players can play cards to place obstacles in the path of the other players. Well, the question is, what about retaliation? In other words, you've given me a bad card, I'm going to give you a bad card, and it can just become retaliate, retaliate, retaliate. So I've tried to play that out in my mind to think of ways to avoid at least immediate retaliation. And I don't have to wait for a play test session with other people. I can do that on my own. Perhaps the biggest or a big difference between an experienced designer and an inexperienced designer is that the experienced designer can figure this stuff out playing in his mind's eye, and the inexperienced designer has a difficult time doing that. But that's going to vary from person to person, and it's going to vary with what kind of game you're playing. It's going to vary with the experience as a player of the designer. So whenever you can, play the game in your mind's eye, or at least parts of it. Thanks for listening.